Hi, first graders. Today we're going to be starting a new story. This is one of my favorites. It's called The Darkest Dark. And the author who wrote the story is an astronaut, a real astronaut that goes to outer space. And we'll see a picture of him here on the back. His name is Chris Hadfield. So he wrote this story called The Darkest Dark. Let's go ahead and get started. And again, Chris Hadfield, who wrote the book, he wrote it based on his experience as a kid when he was a little boy. Chris was an astronaut, an important and very busy astronaut. When it was time to take a bath, he told his mother, "I'd love to, but I'm saving the planet from aliens." When it was time to get out of the bath and go to bed, he told his father, politely, because astronauts are always polite, "Sorry, no can do. I'm on my way to Mars." An astronaut's work is never done, so astronauts do not like to sleep. But their parents do. "You're a big boy now," said Chris's father. "You have to sleep in your own bed." And Chris tried, he really did, but his room was dark, very, very dark. The kind of dark that attracts the worst sort of aliens. So it sounds like Chris is afraid of the dark here. How many of you are afraid of the dark or used to be? But his parents meant it. Chris was going to sleep in his own bed tonight. His mom and dad checked under the bed and in the wardrobe and even in his underwear drawer. They declared the room 100% alien free. They tucked Chris in and they turned on the nightlight. They even gave him a special bell to ring if he became nervous. Clang, 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 clang. And then they took the bell away. And then his father said something that worried Chris even more than the dark did. "One more peep, young man, and I'm afraid we'll all be too tired to go next door tomorrow." But tomorrow would be a special day, a very special day. Chris had to go next door. His life pretty much depended on it. So Chris stayed in his own bed without a peep, and it took a long time for him to fall asleep. But when he did, he had his favorite dream. He flew his spaceship all the way to the moon. If you see on the flag, it has a picture of him and his dog Albert on there. This is definitely a dream because I don't know if dogs would wear spacesuits like that. The next day seemed to last forever, but finally, when the moon was shining over the lake and the summer wind was ruffling through the leaves of the trees, Chris ran next door. The house was already full of people, all gathered around the TV, the only TV on the whole island. Chris found a spot where he could see through the crowd, and what he saw was astronauts, real life astronauts on the actual faraway moon. They were wearing puffy white suits and jumping for joy, jumping so high because there was so much less gravity there. The grown-ups huddled around the TV and they were amazed. Their whole lives long, they never expected to see this sight. Even Chris, who had been to the moon just the night before in his dream, was amazed. He never really noticed how dark it was there. Outer space was the darkest dark ever. Now we know that Chris is afraid of the dark. And we also know that he loves astronauts and wants to be an astronaut someday. He even dreams about it. But if he's realizing here that outer space is the darkest dark ever, do you think he's going to overcome that fear? There they all are looking up at the moon where the astronauts are at. That night, Chris did a little experiment. He turned off all the lights in this room, even the night light. It was still dark, very, very dark. There was still shadows that looked a little, well, alien-like, and nothing had changed. But Chris had changed. So when it says that he's changed, do you think that means that he is no longer afraid of the dark? Let's find out. He'd seen that the darkness of the universe was so much bigger and deeper than the darkness in his room, but he was not afraid. He wanted to explore every corner of the night sky. For the first time, Chris could see the power and mystery and the velvety black beauty of the dark. And he realized you're never alone there. Your dreams are always with you, just waiting. Big dreams about the kind of person you want to be, and wonderful dreams about the life you want to live. Dreams that can actually come true. The end. All right, that was the story, The Darkest Dark. And it was written again by Chris Hadfield, the astronaut that's the little boy in our story. When he was a young boy, he was afraid of the dark, but wanted to be an astronaut so bad. And he overcame that fear and became an astronaut that actually traveled to outer space. And you can see him there in his spacesuit. So this is a really great story, and we're going to talk about some more fun things that'll go along with the story throughout the week.